Yeah, fine. Yeah.
Or just summarize where we are.
Yeah, I'll just
summarize. Should be recording now.
Yeah. Okay, so for the observer, we didn't click the recording button at the start. We're just starting recording now. So we've just had a general discussion about general direction, and we've just focused down onto an objective for this session, which is for Gemma to have a clearer idea of how to approach this problem, next steps on this problem. Okay. And I was just asking, so basically, what are you thinking in terms of options? What do you think your options are at the moment?
Well, really, if I just explain the issue, I suppose, is that we get asked by Welsh Government to deliver certain things for pharmacy. So at the moment, there's a strategy, a long-term strategic plan for the development of the profession, which includes leadership for chief pharmacists and for senior leaders and education and training leads. And so this person that I met with is taking it forward. So he says, can I help him? Which, I'm fine to do because I've got involved in lots of leadership type programs before. But I know that the leadership team in HEIW, there's an actual leadership team that don't sit with any profession. They're just a leadership team. And they have their own strategy for leadership across Wales with nurses and medics, and we offer lots of different options. And I know that this guy is doing is not part of that at the moment.
Right.
So they're almost operating outside the strategic framework for the organisation, but not for what's required of us by Welsh Government, because Welsh Government don't care about that. What they care about is pharmacy, and will they give us money, and they want us to do certain things.
Okay.
So it's really about how we put that across, because there's going to be a lot of comeback. I think there's going to be why are you just doing it for pharmacists? Why can't they, why can't they access what we've already got? Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I think is going to happen.
Okay. So where is this guy is coming from a different angle? Where's the remit for that coming from? Has someone kind of high up said that this is going to happen?
Yeah. So we have the chief pharmaceutical officer in Welsh Government has said these are the things that need to happen.
Yeah.
But we are the delivery body for all education. So he's come to us to support it.
Yeah.
But so my director, she has agreed with him, but I don't know how much my director is talking to this other team, or whether she's just doing it because she thinks she can.
Okay. So
it's really complicated.
Is there a way you could find that out?
Well, it's a further complication.
Yeah, okay.
Is I don't get along with this person, my director. I don't have any contact with her really. I try not to have any contact with her whatsoever for the last few years, because I find her to be very difficult to work with, not supportive. She's done things that I don't agree with. So I don't want any contact with this person. But because he's asked me to get involved, I need to know more.
Yeah.
Really, about what's going on. So that's why I'm a bit stuck, really, at the moment.
Are there any other ways of finding out more about what's going on without having to speak to this person?
Yes. So my line manager, who's in between me and this person, is usually the person that I would go to. So she would go to my line manager and I go to my line manager, and she's sort of a person in between. So she's a
Okay.
deputy, and she's great, but she's on leave
Okay.
for 3 weeks because she's traveling around France watching the rugby. And I don't think it can wait 3 weeks. So yeah, it's a tricky one for
Okay.
sure. Yeah.
So, what's driving the pressure? Why do you say it can't wait 3 weeks?
I think because there's a leadership plan, so there's a paper that needs to be agreed. So he sent me an outline of this plan. It's like leadership and succession planning, which is like driven by Welsh Government. He sent it today, and he wants to know yay or nay. Are we going ahead? Are we not going ahead? That kind of thing.
Right.
I mean, it's really in depth. It's this thing you sent me. It's like 25 pages long.
Yeah.
I mean, he's put a lot of work into it.
Yeah.
So, I do think I'm going to have to suck it up, really, maybe, and just go and have a conversation with her. Even though I don't want to.
Yeah, I guess maybe it's a case of what's the most painful, having a conversation with her or doing loads of work that, basically turns out to be misdirected.
Yeah, that's true. Because for all I know, she could have had conversations with the other team that I'm unaware of, because I'm only coming into it now, and there's obviously been a lot of conversations that have happened over the last month or two around this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's kind of like weighing up my options, really.
Okay. So it sounds to me like you've come to the conclusion that you have to have a meeting with this person. Is that right? Is that how you feel?
It is, but at the same, I'm quite principled, and I don't like it. But yeah, I probably, yeah, I think so.
Okay. So that's one step forward. So perhaps we could start talking about how your options are, maybe of approaching that. Do you meet her face to face? Do you write to her? What's your next step, really?
Yeah, maybe. She's not particularly responsive to email, but to be honest, I don't see her because the days I'm in the office, she's not in the office. So I think I'm gonna have to contact her and maybe just say what sort of conversations I've had with this guy, and what he's asked me to do, and how does that fit in with what what's happening with it currently. Maybe before I go bulldozing in, do you know what I mean, and saying I'm doing this and I'm doing this, just to find out, like, how aware is she of him asking me to do things, what kind of things is she wanting, that kind of thing. So maybe just a sort of gentle, just giving you a heads up, I met with him on Monday and this is what we talked about.
Okay.
So that might be a way in, and then she might say, we should meet up or whatever. And if she doesn't say that, I can always send some questions over, like that stuff.
Okay. Well, that definitely sounds like a way forward. So how committed do you feel to that?
I feel like I'm gonna have to do it. I've, like, out of 10, I'm like 6 out of 10. I'm not doing it today or tomorrow because I'm going away for the weekend. I'm going away on Friday. And I'm like, no, I'll do it when I come back. That sounds like a job for when I come back.
Okay. So what, you'll do it for like middle of next week? I mean, does that sound, okay, so is that a commitment then? So let's just confirm, what are we saying? You're sending her an email by the middle of next week, summarising the
Yeah.
discussions you've had with this guy. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, I think so. I think, yeah, I think because that's just information giving, isn't it? And so I met with him, and this is what we covered. I talked to him about the strategic paper, and you know, that he said, "Can I help with it? You know, from your perspective, what is, you know, what's happening with it? What do you need to happen? That kind of thing."
Yeah, okay.
And then she can tell me, because her idea of it might be different to his idea of it.
Yeah, absolutely. But unless you connect the dots, you'll never know, will you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's true. Otherwise, you're just sort of floundering around
Yeah.
in the dark,
Okay.
not knowing what's going on. So,
Okay.
yeah, I suppose they're better.
Yeah, so would you agree then it's probably potentially more painful for this all to go horribly wrong because of miscommunication than it is to have contact with this person that you don't really get on with?
Yeah, and I hate things going wrong, because, you know, when you do something, you want to do a good job.
Absolutely.
But then yeah, and I do need to find out how she sees it fit, because she knows about this other team,
Yeah,
and what they do, and what, you know, people draw these like imaginary lines of, this is my territory and I do leadership, and if there's anything leadership, that's mine.
yeah,
She knows that exists. So
yeah.
whether or not there's been any moves made towards sorting that out, I don't know. So
Okay.
I do
Okay.
need to know.
Yeah, well, it sounds like you've talked yourself into it quite convincingly. So just to summarize then, I mean, you wanted to like basically talk about, get a clearer idea about what next step is. You have a pretty clear next step now. By next Wednesday, you're going to contact this lady and explain the details of the conversations you've had with this chap. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that sounds fine.
She says enthusiastically.
Just fine, not good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just fine.
Okay, great. Should we call that done then?
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Any immediate feedback?
From me,
Yeah.
so my feeling, I mean, I got to where I needed to be, so that was a positive. I wasn't really thinking about her so much in the beginning. I was more thinking about the other team, but actually she's a more natural first step, really. So actually that works better. But yeah, I think it's that thing at the beginning where you sort of summarize the problem, but then you need to get into more detail of the problem.
Yeah.
Before you like look at the options. So I think just spend a bit more time there would be a good thing to do. Yeah, that was my main thing.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, David.
I think it was really good. Asked lots of questions. I think what I've said is that I think could potentially challenge Gemma a little bit more on the relationship with the director. But I'm not sure if that's maybe a path she wanted to go down. But yeah, that's the only thing that you know, from my point of view.
So.
Yeah, and I definitely
think
think
to be quite an important element of the of the session.
Definitely, if we were doing a 90-minute session, I wanted to know more about that, but I just thought in the time.
Because that's like a big thing to unpick, isn't it?
That's almost like a separate session on its own, isn't it?
All right, well, we've got the Gemma's next session sorted then.
Well, the thing is, though, I can only talk about it today because Deb's not here. Because she's my line manager, isn't she?
Yes.
So she's the in-between person. So she's brilliant. Like Deb's amazing and a great boss.
Yeah.
And and it works really, really well, but
Yeah.
it's just a bit awkward, isn't it?
Yes.
When
Yeah, I
it's someone
understand.
you both know.
Yeah.
But yeah, luckily Deb's fab.
Good.
So there you go. So we've got should we do one more then?
I
Yeah.
think so, if that's okay. Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like the ceiling's about to fall down, so I can stay
Oh
for now.
God, yeah, I know. That's so stressful for you.
Yeah.
Gemma, I'm happy to do it if
Yeah.
you're okay with that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. So I'm going to observe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, David, have you got something? I feel like you've got something, but it
I
might
do.
be.
as well as
actually,
the building falling down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, I mean that's just suck it up
That's
and
a
get on with it. To
problem.
be quite honest, yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean that's quite immediate. I've
Yeah.
got a longer term one, which is there'll be a theme through all of these sessions. Really,
Yeah.
is I'm kind of thinking about a kind of career change, and
Yeah.
what I'm on a kind of mission to really understand what my strengths are, because I've reached a point in life where I'm financially secure. My kids are all through school now. I could be doing something that I enjoy more, but I've got no idea what that is. So it's just, I mean, I can see this could run on quite a long time. I don't mean today, but this is a regular ongoing thing for me all the time.
Yeah.
I'm trying to work out what it is that drains my energy and I want to do less of,
Yeah.
and what it is that kind of energizes me and what I want to do more of. And it's just an opportunity, really. I'm not expecting an answer in 15 minutes, but
Yeah.
it's just something I don't get to talk about. So
Okay.
to encourage me to talk about it would be
Yeah,
good.
This is your opportunity then. So
Absolutely, yeah.
we have kind of discussed a similar topic in the past, so I feel that I should start with, is there anything from past discussions that we should review here, or would you like to start afresh?
Well, I mean, past discussions, really, I think I just talked about that I'm working on reducing my hours. So I think I've already decided that probably for a core of my time will still be teaching. I do quite enjoy teaching, but I don't enjoy the manic pace, and I don't feel that I need to collapse exhausted at the end of every day. I think I could be doing something else with my time. But it's just what I could be doing with that time, really, that I want to explore. What am I good at? What am I good at and I actually enjoy? Is what I'm trying to get.
Okay, so in terms of an outcome, is it that you want to know what you want to do, or is it that you want to consider options, or what do you think? What would be your ideal outcome?
I mean, my ideal outcome really would be to be a little bit clearer about what my marketable strengths are, the kind of things that I could actually be doing, that I enjoy more and that I can actually earn some money doing.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds perfectly reasonable. So in terms of your current situation, you're still wanting to understand what your strengths are, and you could be doing something that you enjoy more. Have you done anything to kind of help build that picture up to this point?
I got a book.
Okay, well,
I got a book
good start.
It's I don't know, Skills Finder or something like that, or find your strengths and so on. But it's not that easy, really. It says sit and think about what your strengths are. Okay, it's not like you fill in the questionnaire and it tells you. So I've been reading through that, but then we had the roof crisis, and I haven't picked it up for quite a while yet. But what I'm trying to do, and I haven't really got into a discipline, is what I should do really is maybe I should have a bit of a diary. Patterns. I know I should do that, but it just seems life's like 100 miles an hour at the moment, and I haven't done that yet. But I certainly should do.
Sorry, the connection's just gone a bit.
I've
Bitty,
lost
is it?
Gemma's picture, but I can still, looks like she's still here.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
here. I'm just
Oh,
turning
good.
my camera off in case
Okay.
it helps.
Okay, yep.
Thanks. So yeah, so you said you did buy a book and you said
Yeah.
that you should maybe have a diary. So, what is there anything preventing you from doing the diary?
Not really, no. It's just, I mean, I carry my teacher planner with me everywhere, so I could write in the back of that, I guess, really.
Yeah.
It's just, reminding myself to do it. Maybe I should put some headings in there. And perhaps at the end of every day, maybe try and spend 5-10 minutes reflecting on, I suppose I could have like a pluses column and a negative column, couldn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing I could do.
Okay. So, if we move on, so I think we've kind of explored the situation in sufficient depth. So in terms of choices, would you consider that starting that diary would be a choice that you would want to go with?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I think that's an important step forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I mean, go on then.
Sorry, cut you off then. And what would be the benefits to you of doing that?
I think the benefits would be to try and start establishing some patterns.
Yeah.
So on a day when I feel enthused, what is it that's making me feel like that? Is it what I'm doing? And a day when I think I've had enough of this, what's going on? And just kind of see if there's any patterns, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I think that makes perfect sense. And do you see there being any downfalls with keeping that diary? Any disadvantages?
I don't think so. I think it needn't take a lot of time. As I say, I carry my teacher planner with me everywhere.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's really a problem.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got the to look at a diary. Have you got any other choices that you feel would help you to achieve your ultimate outcome?
I mean, I guess. Yeah. So go on.
Sorry, I did it again. I'm going to get this in my feedback now. And so I should have said, actually, you talked about the book. So I think that would be another thing that we could include in this.
Pick the book up again. Yeah.
Oh, starting the book, and what benefits do you think that will bring?
And there's one thing I like about the book, having skimmed through it, is it has lists of typical strengths.
Yeah.
So it gives me a kind of, I could look at 10 different things and say, oh, okay, which of those are me? I suppose that could help.
Yeah.
And then maybe I could match that up with my diary as well.
Mm-hmm.
And see. Because I mean, I have options of what I could do with my time.
Yeah.
But I just want to make sure that I use it most effectively, really, in areas, stuff that I'm good at and I actually enjoy doing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And think there's any disadvantages of using that book?
No, other than it just takes a bit of time to read. But yeah,
Okay.
I mean, the main problem is I get to open a book like when I settle down at night and I just go, so I'm just so tired at the moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe I'll try and read it at the weekend.
Okay, yeah, I think that's a good idea. Maybe try and find different times when you have a bit more energy to read it. Okay, I'll put that down.
And there is what I was going to say, actually, there is one other possibility, but it's I don't know, it's I don't know. Well, I'll say what it is. Basically, the other way is I could ask other people. But how do you structure that? And do people give you honest feedback? Just people just give you nice stuff? I was kind of toying with the idea, maybe I could get a list of the strengths from that book and basically say, rank me on these to people that I know that I work with. That might be a possibility as well.
Well, I think that sounds like a good idea to me.
Yeah.
You might learn something that you it's quite difficult for you to see from yourself. So it's good to get 360 feedback, isn't it?
That's
So
right,
if
because
you've,
there might be stuff that I don't really appreciate, but
yeah,
people
Like-
think I'm good at, because it's all relative, isn't it, really?
yeah. So I think you just mentioned there in terms of disadvantages of that. You might hear things that you don't particularly want to hear.
Yeah.
I think that's where selecting the right people will come in, because you want feedback from people whose opinion you respect.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
And while I'm at it, I just had another thought as well. I mean, too
Yeah.
many to develop at the moment, but maybe
Mhm.
next time. I guess another thing I could do is maybe I could map out some of the things that I could do.
Yeah.
I'm an aerospace engineer by background. I could go back into aerospace engineering, but I don't really want to. So at least I could like map out some things and say, what are my choices really with this time? What could I realistically do?
Yeah.
So maybe that's another thing I could think about as well.
Okay, so what benefits do you think that will bring?
It might make me think about, it's when you try to actually list things, maybe it makes you think about stuff that you hadn't actually thought of before.
Yeah.
And then also sometimes it helps you say definitely not to some things. So yeah, I think that could be useful.
Okay. And any disadvantages then of doing that?
No, I just think it's time again, that's all.
Yeah. Fine. Okay, so it seems. Was there anything else that you were considering that you think you might want to include in this?
No, I think that's kind of 3 things that I could be doing. I think that's
Okay.
probably enough.
So
The other thing which I'm
Go on.
doing right now is if I'm developing my coaching skills, because that's an option as well. If how I might spend some of my time in the future.
Yeah. And what benefits do you think that'll bring them?
Well, it's a potential way of earning some money, possibly, in a less pressured and stressful environment than I currently operate in.
Yeah. Any disadvantages of doing that?
Well, I've got to work out if I'm actually any good at it first. It's early days yet.
Okay. Was there anything else, or are you happy with all of those things? So
That's quite a lot to be going on with, to be quite honest. Each one of those needs unpacking, really, but that's a fair bit to go on with.
Yeah, so we've got the diary, and we've discussed the benefits of that, and it seems that it's just a case of actually doing it. And the book, we know that that is a good option. It's just finding the time. Bit of a theme here with the time, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. And then we've also got feedback from different people. And the other thing we've got is to just map out what you can do, and then we've also got the coaching skills. So, out of all those, are there any particular ones that you would like to focus on more, or are you happy to do them all? Or
in reality, I probably have to do them all in parallel, to be quite honest. Yeah, I think so.
To complete actions above in parallel. Okay, in terms of a target date, have you got one in mind?
When are we next likely to get together then?
Well, I'm hoping that it'll be weekly if we can.
Okay. Well, let's commit to one of those for next time we meet then. Okay. So let's say that I'm going to start keeping a diary of my work-related highs and lows.
Yeah.
Okay. And you can ask me next time, and I'll feel guilty if I haven't done that.
That is a good motivator, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, that's great. And your willingness to complete action?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no doubt about that.
Out of 10.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. I'm going to do
10
that.
out of 10. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. And in terms of reviewing your progress, I guess we can just review at
Yeah.
the next meeting, can't we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Well, I think we've covered everything there. Was there
Yeah.
any feedback that you'd like to give me from the session?
Yeah, I think it's really good just to have someone to listen to you, to be quite
Yeah.
honest, and probably with a few questions.
Yeah.
So I think the structure worked to make
Yeah.
me sit and think about all the stuff that's been buzzing around in my head.
Yeah.
And it made me think of what my options are.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think it was useful. I think it was
Okay.
15, 20 minutes very well spent.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Oh, no problem. What are you, Gemma? Have you got any feedback for me?
Oh yeah, I'm on mic, so that's good. No, it's good. I thought, like, particularly you followed the Oscar process really well, particularly the choices element, because you were quite careful to spend time on each one, working through the the disadvantages and the benefit. So that I thought that was like really clear. And then David came up with a few more things as you were going through it. So I think there was time and space for him to be able to go, oh, and another thing, and and there's this and there's this. So I thought that was really good. I know you said it's going to get brought up in my feedback about the interruptions, but it's difficult when you're on a call.
Yeah.
To see, like, when you're in a room, it's easier to like know when the person's done. I guess just always give a bit of extra time just to make sure they're finished.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean, because I'm the same. I just like to. I've always got another question, like and it's good that you asked for feedback. The only other thing I put down is that I suppose you could just go more into the bit around the feedback, getting feedback like 360. I thought it was good that you espouse the positives of that, but it's quite challenging, isn't it, getting feedback? So it's I'd probably be tempted there to go in more into it, like, what have they received that kind of feedback before? How did they feel about it? What was the like positives and challenges? Just a little bit more in there. But it's definitely a good thing to do, as you suggested. So no, overall I thought it went really well.
Oh, great, thanks. I think my feedback to David, in terms of, it seems that time is a bit of an issue. So maybe if that is the case, then it might be worth prioritizing certain things, so then you can get the most important things done, and then you might have time for the other things then. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. I'm gonna have to go release some pharmaceuticals now.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Should we? I can't do next week because I'm in Prague until Wednesday. Yeah. And then I've got a school meeting on Wednesday. It's like a year 7 introduction to year 7 thing. But the following week I'm probably around. Yeah. And Deb's back from the 26th, I think.
Okay. So let's aim for the following week from the 25th then. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
We can just send around times and dates and stuff. So I'm sure it'll be quite difficult to fit everyone in, but hopefully we can all agree on one. Okay.
And do you mind sharing this recording?
Not at all.
Not at all. Yeah, and I'll send through your sheet shortly now, David.
Okay. Thanks. Great.
And next time we meet, if anyone's interested, I've had a crack at the assignment, and I've submitted my first set of coaching notes. So I'm happy to discuss where I've got to with that and the kind of feedback I've got so far.
That would be really helpful. Yeah. I'm about to start my second client tomorrow.
Yeah. So I've done my first one. But yeah, I just got the assignment out of the way. It's not ready to go, but I've had feedback, which I'm happy to share with anybody.
Okay. Great. Yeah, that'd
cool.
be really good.
Thanks. David.
Okay.
Right.
Nice to speak to you.
See you soon.
Cheers then.
Bye. Bye.